Alright, so what is on, guys? This is Fade by as usual. So welcome back to another video of Genshin Impact. So it's been almost a month since I upload my Genshin related video, or it's actually more than 1 month, so I'm not really sure about that. Alright, so in today's video I'll be bringing y'all to go through, like, to have a slight clue or a slight walkthrough about version 3.5. Alright, so in version 3.5 we actually have kind of major update. Alright, not too major, but it's kind of like the content is actually a lot. So first of all, the one everyone cares is so after the update, when you open your adventures book, alright, so the first thing you will probably see is you actually have an exclamation mark on your guide. So what it does is actually, like, for every Archon quest you play, alright, for every act you previously finished, you will get one intertwined fate. So up to now, excluding the version 3.5 Archon quest, you actually have 20 intertwined fates gained a total of like 60 sanctifying essence, and I'm not sure how many heroes waves, and a ton of mystic enhancement. So that's all for the adventurers book. So for the next thing is there's also yeah there's also Primogem rewards in your mailbox, so it's total of 600. And also there's a new code, there's also a new code release, forget what the code is, so it's 60 Primogems and 5 adventurers book. So alright, now to the main part. Okay, so what's going on in version 3.5 is there'll be new event, obviously, new characters too. So first things first, you will have the big event, alright, the really big event, which is this one, Bloom's Breath. So this event actually is the large event of version 3.5. So what this thing do is it gives you Primogems, obviously, it's a huge event. Alright, another thing is it will give you Crown of Insect. So I believe I don't have to explain much, but for those who don't know what a Crown of Insect actually does is it's a precious, like, character talent level on material. So when you're upgrading characters talent from 9 to 10, you might need a crown. Alright. No, not you might, you need a crown. And of course they'll give a free weapon too, which is actually a good claymore, like EM claymore that, like, increases their attack and elemental mastery, which is kind of good, to be honest. Alright, and some blueprints along with some Wimbloom gifts and talent books and other rewards. Alright, so besides the event, alright, there are also future events coming on, but we'll hit the most important part of the event first, which is the new characters. So in version 3.5 we actually have two new characters, which is a 5-star and a 4-star. Alright, which is the current one is Dea, which is a 5-star para character, and a new 4-star support cryo character, Mika. And of course we have character event wishes, which is the banners, as we say. Alright, so for the current banner it will be cyno Dea, and for the second phase of the banner it will be Shenhe and our Kamisato Eka. Alright, so weapons are obviously, and also we have new weapon banners with new weapons. So the new weapon we have is Claymore, a new 5-star Claymore, limited, alright. Beacon of the Red Sea, which is actually their signature weapon. And another one is the one that I say obtained from event, the Milk Flower Claymore. Alright, and also new main story quest, Arco quest, alright. And also story quest for Dea, as well as the hangout event for Faruzan. Alright. And there are also new enemies, which is the Geo Black Serpent, right? And also Cryo Abyss Herald. Alright. I haven't been really fighting these things, but I'm pretty sure I'll be dealing it, like doing fighting or just dealing with them on stream tomorrow. Right. So for those who don't know, I actually stream on Twitch, and I recently just hit affiliate, so feel free to drop by on my Twitch channel. So I'll be streaming tomorrow on Saturday, probably after 4 or 5. Alright. And so this is the event here. So this is the big event here. So update summary, nothing much. In the Archon quest, and also some tools update, and some web events, or nothing too much. Okay, so let's talk about banners, alright? This is the thing that most people actually care about, right? So for the first phase, which is the literally after the update, we have two character banners, alright? First it will be Daya. Second we'll have Cyno. Alright. So so for these two characters, I will be making a separate video about them. Like independently, I'm all together for these two characters. And the up rate for stars are actually Bennett, Colley, and Barbara. So I think most people will care about Bennett, alright, and Colley, alright. So Bennett and Colley is actually worth trying to pull for, as they are really good and their constellations are like in a huge increase. Meanwhile, Barbara is kind of useful, but the down effects of Barbara is more obvious than the up effects when you are at a higher enemy difficulty level and you use her to fight. So for Cyno, alright, Cyno will be the same because they are in the same phase of the game. So for weapon banner, it will be their signature weapon along with Cyno's signature weapon. So for Daya is the Claymore, and Cyno will be the Staff of the Scour Skins. So 4-star weapons, as you can see, there's Alley Flash, Dragon's Bane, Arrow of Perception, Alley Hunter, and Sacrificial Claymore. Alright, so this is the story quest I said just now. Hangout events, new battle pass, and adventurous booster bundles. Yeah, nothing too much for now. Like that's probably all the events and stuff. Yeah, compared to future events. So for now, I think that's probably all. If I'm not wrong. Yeah, that's pretty much all. And since there's some extra time, I can talk about Cyno first. So I don't really have Cyno, but I played Cyno a lot on my other friend's account. So I got a slight clue like how he actually works, and it probably his best teams and other optional character supports to him. Alright, so let's talk about Cyno, right? So Cyno is a 5-star character, limited 5-star. So he is an electro pole arm, yes, and he ascends with what is it again? Actually forgot. Holy shit. Is it EM or crit damage? I actually forgot. Yeah, I actually forgot. Let me search. Let me search up a bit. Let me search up a bit. Hold on. It's been so long since I look at the character ascensions. Alright. Okay, so as expected, alright. So Cyno ascends with crit damage, alright, up to 88.4% when you hit like I mean total of 88.4%, including the base 50. So it's 38.4 to be exact. After level 80 ascension, alright. So about Cyno, let's start from his weapon. So in trial, they obviously give him his signature weapon. Yes, obviously, like this is actually the best in slot for Cyno. Like it gives a lot of crit damage for this pole arm. So it's like yeah, so this poem is technically very easy to understand. So what it does is for the equipping character, like gains 52% of their elemental mastery as bonus attack. Yeah, when an elemental skill hits opponents, the Dream of the Scarlet Sands effect will be gained for 10 seconds. The equipping character will gain 28% of their elemental mastery as bonus attack, max 3 stacks. So means like this thing is technically just how do you say, like it just gives you a lot of attack based on your EM. So like you can assume 52% plus like 28% times 3. So in this like second part of the weapon passive, you technically get like what, 56 plus 28, which is like 84% plus this. So it's like it's giving you like literally your whole elemental mastery converted into attack. So in words, it's actually quite broken. Yeah. So the weapon is actually like kind of huge increase compared to if you give other weapons. I mean, other weapons also works, but not as good as signature weapon. So for artifacts, I would personally recommend Gilded Dreams. Alright. Don't ask me why, because it just fits him well. Alright. It fits him well, and besides that, it also gives you EM. So he's, if you're equipping a signature weapon or not, stacking EM on cyno is definitely better than just stacking attack, and I'll explain later on in his talents. So for best in slot, it's obviously Gilded Dreams. Alright. Or you can give 4-piece Thundering Fury, but in my personal opinion, it's not the best. Alright. So for constellations, it's actually a bit long, so I'm a bit lazy to actually to say. So, but I'll just slightly go through. Alright, so C1 is actually simple. So what should I say? Like when Cyno releases his ult, technically he will get 20% attack speed for 10 seconds. And if you trigger the QTE, you will get you'll refresh this duration. Alright. So for his C2, his normal attack hits opponents, he will increase his electro damage bonus by 10% for 4 seconds, max 5 stacks. So it means that he can kind of get 50% electro damage bonus. So C3 is increased elemental burst level by 3, and C4 is when he is in ulti state. If he triggers any electric, I mean electro related reactions, alright, he'll restore 3 elemental energy for the whole party except for himself. This can occur 5 times, so means like he can regen 15 elemental energy within his whole ulti cycle. Alright, and C5 is increasing his skill level by 3. And for C6, obviously the end of the constellation, alright, means like after using elemental burst or triggering the adjudication effect of the passive talent, which is the QTE, Cyno will gain 4 stacks of the Day of the Jackal effect. When he hits opponents with normal attacks, he will consume 1 stack, and to fire off 1 Darkstalker bot. So Day of the Jackal lasts for 8 seconds, alright, max 8 stacks. It will be cancelled once Pack Swarm Path Clearer ends, which is the elemental burst. The maximum of 1 Darkstalker bot can be unleashed this way every 0.4 seconds. Yeah, this is just like another alternate damage output. Like crazy damage, alternate damage output. Yeah, which is actually crazy. Alright, so finally his talents, alright. So his talents basic attack, just normal scaling 4 hit, charge attack, and punch damage. But in my personal opinion, you don't really have to care about this because the burst will cover off this sooner or later. Alright, so for his E, alright, so it just performs a Swift Thrust, dealing electro damage bonus. So the skill damage is actually 200, and the CD is 7.5. Alright, for this E. So it has a second form when you use his elemental burst, which is called mortuary right damage. Alright, so this thing has 250.9% scaling and also a shorter cooldown. which is like 3 seconds. And by triggering the E with QTE, you will also increase your elemental burst duration by 4 seconds, up to 2 times. Alright, and so Secret Rite Wolf's Sweetness, so this is his elemental burst. So Cyno's normal charge and plunging attacks will be converted to electro damage that cannot be overrated. Alright, Cyno's elemental mastery and resistance to interruption will increase and he gains immunity to electro charge damage. This effect will be cancelled when Cyno leaves the field and lasts a maximum of 18 seconds. Alright, so yeah, that's when you see this scaling, you'll understand why I say the basic attack isn't important. Because when you activate elemental burst, you can assume it's a Raiden or Tartaglia similar set. Like elemental bursts have their own independent scaling. Instead of like Scaramouche, you rely like you activate the skill, but however your scaling still relies on basic attack talent. So for Cyno, you can probably just ignore normal attack if you want to save resources. Alright, you can just fully go for elemental burst and elemental skill. So the elemental burst at level 8 is like 1 hit damage is 133.8. Yeah, it's just actually quite not bad. Alright. And also it gives you 100 elemental mastery. And the basic duration is actually 10 seconds. So remember I did mention like if you trigger the QTE for its elemental burst, like you can actually increase by 4 seconds. So it can increase up to 2 times, which is 18 seconds. Means that you only have like 2-second cooldown. But however, the energy cost is relatively high, it's like 80. So it's like the second highest in the whole game. Right. So for his first ascension talent, I think this thing unlocks at level 20 ascended. Alright, since when Cyno is in the ulti state, Cyno will enter the end seer stance at intervals. If it activates the Secret Rite Chasmic Soulfire, which is actually the QTE I said just now, he will activate Judication effect, increasing the damage of this Secret Rite Chasmic Soulfire by 35%, and firing off 3 Darkstalker bolts that deals 100% of Cyno's attack as electric damage. Alright, and this Darkstalker bolt, which is the 3 bolts that I mentioned just now, is considered elemental skill damage instead of just like independent damage outsource. Right. So for his level 60 Ascension talent, alright, so Cyno's damage values will be increased based on his elemental mastery as follows. Okay, so the first one is Pack Swarm Path Clearer's normal attack damage is increased by 150% of his elemental mastery, which is the elemental burst what should I say? Elemental burst damage is increased by 150% of his elemental mastery, but only for normal attack in his elemental burst. Only normal attacks, alright? And Darkstalker bolt damage from his passive talent Feather for Judgment is increased by 250% of his elemental mastery. Means that every time you hit the QTE scaling, or besides from the attack percent itself, alright, you'll also gain another like the Darkstalker bolt will also gain extra damage from elemental mastery. So that's why stacking elemental mastery on him is actually better than just stacking attack on him. Alright, and his passive talent, the Gift of Silence. Alright, so gain 25% more rewards when dispatched on a Sumerian expedition for 20 hours. Alright, so for his teams, so as you can see, you are running Gilded Dreams, alright. So why do I say Gilded Dreams is actually good enough? So besides the 2-piece adding 80 EM, and the 4-piece also gives like, it also kind of fits Cyno. So it says within 8 seconds of triggering an elemental reaction, the characters equipping this will obtain buffs based on the elemental type of other party members. Attack is increased by 14% for each party members whose elemental type is the same as the equipping character. And EM is increased by 50 for every party member with a different elemental type. So means that his base EM is 371 now, right? So I have 3 different element characters, means I'll get like 150 or 200 when I trigger an elemental reaction. But for same, like for example, if I have electro characters on my team instead of other party members, so I'll get like attack percent increase instead of like heal. So it's actually optional, like to see personal preferences, like what kind of team you want. So for Cyno, his teams are actually quite fixed. So the first kind of team is you can play Aggravate, right? Aggravate Cyno, or you can play Bloom, Hyper Bloom Cyno, or you can just play Quick Bloom. Alright. So for Dendro application, if you have a Nahida, of course, just use Nahida. It's so much better. Alright, so if you don't have a Nahida, Kole is a good choice. You can get her free if you pass at least floor 4. And or if you don't have a Kole, that's the worst case, okay? You can't pass at least, for example. Alright, then just use Dendro Traveler. Right? Just use Dendro Traveler. It's free. It's literally free. Just touch the statue and you get a free Dendro Traveler. Alright. And for Hydro unit, you can either run Xingqiu, Yelan, or Kokomi, or Barbara. Alright. I personally won't use Barbara because you can either use Xingqiu and Yelan or Kokomi or something else. Alright, for the 4th unit, I don't understand why the fuck they put a no out. Alright, for Cyno, if you have a healer, you don't need a shield. Alright, since its elemental burst increase resistance interruption. Alright, so you can literally go and put something else. Alright, so you can either put another Dendro for Dendro Resonance, or you can literally put another Electro for Electro Resonance. Alright, so here I'm going to demonstrate about how Cyno actually is. Alright, so for his E, it will just be like, yeah, it will just be like, so you use Collie for alright, and the Cyno can right?
来跳舞吧！以此身速震万象。该定罪。偿还罪业。裁决已至。
So by hitting your E with high duration, you can technically just get. Yeah, you can technically fire off the 3 dust of the boss.
成了我的罪孽。裁决已至。该定罪了。裁决已至。偿还罪业。
So that's why I say Nahida is actually better, is because if you're using a Nahida instead of a Kole, you have a more stable Dendro application compared to Kole. Because Cyno, you need to be on field very long if you want to use his elemental burst. That's why Nahida is kind of best Cyno.
无处可逃，以此身速震万象。裁决已至。
Yeah, what happens if you miss the QT is that you just technically get the missions. So this is just actually a kind of rip-off Cyno build. And you can see the damage is actually still quite acceptable. Right? So imagine if like serious build Cyno, but of course the first thing express is yeah, you need to have a signature weapon. So after all this, yeah, technically stacking the like 3 stacks of the weapon passive, alright, and also converting EM. So he have 621 EM right now, alright, and he also have 2100 attack. So that's how huge increase his signature weapon actually gives him. Means by giving him a signature weapon, alright, what you get is you are able to stack EM. Meanwhile, at the same time, in his burst form, alright, you trigger a lot of elemental skill. You gain a lot of attack from his elemental mastery. So that is why it's actually so OP about signature weapon. I mean, yes, other weapons can do the same, but not as good as his signature weapon. It's his signature weapon for a reason. Just designed to fit him, alright.
偿还罪业，汉爵早期降临。 该定罪了。偿还罪业。裁决已至。
See the eye symbol, like it's around probably like 1 or 6.
以此身肃正万象。
Every time it's like around 1 or 2 seconds, like when you see the eye symbol.
偿还罪业。该定罪了。
No, it's actually one. It's not 1 or 2. Sorry, it's like either 3 or 4.
还罪业。
Yeah, it's like probably like 3 or 4 seconds. You'll see the eye symbol, so you can just smash the elemental skill button, and then you'll trigger the QT and fire off the Darkstalker bots. So remember the Darkstalker bots skills on attack and EM, alright? So means that you by stacking EM before 60 ascent, it only scales on attack, alright? But after 60 ascent, it scales on both attack and EM. However, it scales 250% on the EM. So that's how cyno actually is. So he's actually quite a unique character to play. Alright, so now one of the most important questions. Alright, so is Dea and cyno worth pulling, and is the weapon banner actually like pullable? Alright, so for those who are planning to pull for Dea, alright, I would say she has a new unique playstyle, alright, but however, for those who are planning to save Primos, I will tell you not to pull for Dea. As for information, Dea is going to standard banner. Alright, this means that she will appear in the standard banner and you might lose to her. So that's why I am not pulling for Dea. Of course, I won't pull for anyone till version 4.0. Alright. So first things first is for Dea, she's going to standard banner, and secondly, her full potential isn't out yet because like there's no special team or any special artifacts or any special playstyles for her. Alright, so yeah, so therefore I don't really recommend pulling Dea. And for those who are pulling cyno, good luck on pulling. Okay, because cyno is usable. Alright, I mean he is usable, but his teams are actually quite expensive if you want to play him. Alright, like you need an Ahida for full potential of cyno, and you need a good Hydra unit for if you want to pull for cyno. And for example, if you don't have a Kokomi, you don't have a Yelan, you only have a Xingqiu, and Xingqiu is on demand for literally every pyro team. Alright, so for the weapon banner, personal opinion, alright, you can actually pull for it. No cap, you can actually pull for it. So how good is the weapon banner this time? Excluding the 4 stars, so the 4 stars are actually bullshit. Alright, but for the 5 stars, it's actually not bad if you are going for any of them. So first things first, the claymore is actually good. Like it increase crit rate. It's a crit rate claymore by 33.1 and with a 608 base attack at level 90. Alright, and the weapon passive is actually really good. It gives you like 20% attack, and it gives you another 20% attack when you get hit, and 32% HP when you are not protected by a shield. So it means that you can give this claymore to like literally anyone, and the dude can have like a HP of a truck added. Yeah. And for the Staff of the Scarlet Sands, so this thing, as I mentioned, the weapon passive just now, so it's not really like most of you will think like it's kind of restricted, but considering the fact that the stats it gives is actually not too bad. Alright, so for this weapon, who you can give is you can probably give it to someone who requires EM, like Xiangling, of course, and you can give it to other EM poam characters like EM Raiden, probably. But I doubt people actually build that. So you can give this to anyone who actually need crit. Yeah, since it's like a huge crit rate weapon, like it gives like 44.1% at level 90. So yeah, So for those who are actually trying to bet for any of these 2 5-star weapons, yeah, you can actually go ahead and try to bet, but make sure you can get at least one of them. All right, if you can't get one of them, just don't bet so hard. All right, so that's all for my video today. I think that it is, and yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.